right, folks, welcome back here to the Diagnostic Trading Hour. I'm your host, Daryl Martin, right here on TFNN.com, and also coming to you live streaming at Tiger TV at TFNN and inside the eSignal platform, as well as on your mobile phone at TFNN.mobi. Let's check out where the markets are at right now. We got the S&P is up a little bit. It's up about 8 points right now. We got the Russell up a little over 14. The Dow's up about 23. Make that 60, and the NASDAQ's up about 23. Copper right now is currently up about I don't know. It's up a little bit, not much. Gold's up right now about 0.5%. Copper's like less than 1/4%, so it's pretty small. Silver is pretty much flat on the day. We got oil right now down 0.5%, down about 47 cents. And seeing some pretty cheap prices out there at the pumps right now. We'll get on over at natural gas. Natural gas right now is up about 1%. We got corn up $8.50. That's a 2.5% up move. And we got soybeans up 2%. So some big moves in the ags. We got pound dollar right now down 7 pips. We got euro dollar. That cannot. Wow. We'll come back to euro dollar because that just seems off. And we got euro pound up 36 pips. We got dollar franc down 50. We got the US yen down 26. We got the euro yen up 23. Aussie yen is up 54. Aussie dollar's up 68. We got the dollar index is down about 0.5%, and we got soybeans up about 0.5%. That catches us up on your daily market wrap. Let me go over and take a look at something real quick. Just after that chart, I'm like, I want to see the update of the dollar, the euro dollar. So I'm going to go over here, and we're going to pull up a little chart, go on into that, and that's just weird. Okay, so if it is moving that far, then we got big problems. It's not moving near as far as the, that's weird. I think some platforms had this massive gap on it. All right, let's see here. Going in, looking at it, and there we go. Okay, so up about 26.75, so about 50 ticks or so, maybe a little bit more than that on the day. And I don't know why this thing is like up 671 ticks over here on the TOS platform, and I'm like, that just yeah, I don't think so. So let's try redoing that and see what happens. EUR/USD, yeah, still claiming it is up. So let's also go over here and double check some things. Always good to look at whenever you're looking at a platform. I always have two. I always have a minimum of 2 platforms instantly at my disposal on any market that I'm trading. And just because I've seen, you got errors, you have platforms crash, you have things happen. I just don't want my trading to be taken out just because, somebody makes a mistake on a platform, right? So I like to have at least, even if it slows me down, I want to at least have live pricing in front of me. I want to know, where the market's really trading at, just in case something really is off. But, I can see over 26.29, 26.71. We had some big moves, but definitely not no massive move like that right there. Right there, it says up 671 pips. So, anyways, I guess they'll get that fixed. Okay, so with that out of the way, with that your lunchtime market wrap, getting you caught up on all the markets, let's go ahead and see where we are on some other trades. We had quite a few 10-minute MVP trades going on, so let's check those out. And let me get that on up. There we go. And zoom out of there. Let's see here. All right. So looking at the MVP now from last night, we got a nice little long going on right there. Would have kept going on up, get you a nice profitable long at the money in the money trade. Went short, sort of stayed flat right there, then popped on back up, kept going long around 4 a.m., so not too bad. Then hopping on over, looking at the euro yen and seeing how that's looking up there. And we got a nice long trade right around 10 o'clock in the evening. And pretty flat, predictor line, but just kept running on up and staying on up until later this morning, or earlier, I guess you could say this morning, around 6 a.m. So some great evening trades there. And so many traders miss out on these evening trades. They get so focused on just the fine-tuned little bitty trades. There's some simple, big trades you can make. And, this one right at 6 o'clock, right out of the gate, popping on up. And you can trade 6 o'clock on Sunday on the FX pairs. Flies on up. And then if you're an early morning Euro session trader, gives you a little short right there. Could have hopped in, ran down, take a little profit. And let's see, pound dollar. Let's see how pound dollar is doing with the exact same thing going on over here. On the pound dollar, we had markets opened up at 6, and it ran on up all the way to 1 deviation. Not a surprise. Turned around, started settling on back down. So lots of good evening trades for you to take advantage of, and just don't forget about that. I mean, those are Sunday trades. I don't know how many people go, oh, they're open on Sunday? I don't think they're open on Sunday. So you start trading the FX on Sunday over on Nadex. Another example for you here, the U.S. yen. A little bit earlier this morning here, going into the 1 a.m. taking up, and then 6 a.m. pulling on back down, and then a little bit choppy after that. Looking at oil. Oil's been a little bit choppy. Like I said, we didn't have much of a move on oil so far this morning. And just sort of up and down, but we got some great profit poppers just triggered again and again and again and again and again. So over and over, lots of good profit popper trades, and right at their ranges. So, even these trades that are going like right at their ranges goes up to the range, pulls on back down. And sometimes I went all the way to an A. I'll watch and look where we at on the range. If we moved a range, well, then that's how much more should I expect? And just grab some of that. NASDAQ. Let's check out what's going on in the NASDAQ here. Over on the NASDAQ markets, if I pull that on up, we'll go into it. And we got some great just Apex short trades going down. We got an MVP reversal along with some longs going up. And so there's some great moves. S&P, a little bit different story, but a little more choppy than the NASDAQ this morning. And looking at the markets moving on down, then we do get a little MVP reversal up, but it's pretty flat, really overall, flat trade. Wouldn't have done much for you. And we didn't get MVP per short, which is probably good because we're down a deviation already anyway, so you wouldn't want to hop right into that. And just down a whole lot of nothing. Gold, like I said, also sort of choppy this morning. And let's see here. We pull that on up. We'll look at it. Go into a few charts, just sort of covering the markets for you. But moving on down and then starting to move on back up. But, just barely touching those ranges. Barely touching them. And then we got the DAX. Let's check out the DAX. So DAX had some nice moves early this morning. Ran up really strong. Almost had MVP short, but didn't break below the low to trigger off that MVP short. Kept on going. And just ran all the way into the day, basically just sitting up here at one deviation. And basically went down 1 deviation, ran up 2 deviations from low to high. So -1 to a +1, and settling off there pretty flat at the moment. We had Wall Street, doing some major things going on. We got, touching some of the lowest levels they're talking about since May. The S&P breaking support. The European equities wiping out all their gains. The Dow Jones wiping out, getting a lot of its stuff wiped out in the last couple of weeks. We got the Aussie dollar starting to hit a couple highs. Let's see, some small caps hitting lows. The treasuries are, moving on up and dropping their yield by 3%. So it's just it's a really odd dynamic. Even the VIX has been really low for all this. A lot of people think selling's overdone, and I'm like, I think it's just going to keep coming. I think it's just starting, but we'll see how it all comes out. We've got to have some breather days in the middle of everything. So that doesn't surprise me when we have those. But it's been pretty crazy. I don't think we're even near being done yet. Let's go here. Let's check out the VIX real quick. We got the VIX popping on up. It's chilling out a little bit today after that big move on Friday, but still got plenty of movement right there. But you can see we're still up here around 2021, and waiting to go in and we got highs for the year. So already, hopefully, we may go in and we may break some highs. We make 2013 and 2012 right here, just in these 2 little days. We kind of get up to about 23. And if we do that, we got to pop up to about 27, 28. And then we go all the way up to 37, except for the year before that. So we got a lot of implied volatility left that could come back in the market. But we'll see how it all plays out. We got the Euro Franc is currently below 2080, fresh 1 week low, or was. Let's see, looking at the dollar index chart, we'll pull that on up for you. See how that looks over here. And on the dollar index chart, we're going to see that dollar index actually getting pounded down a little bit. It ran up, so it was going strong, and then just gave it all up. And today we're seeing it sort of give all that back up, down about 1.5 deviations, 1 deviation at the moment. We got the CBOE, the VIX hitting that 21-month high we just talked about. Broke last year's, broke this year's, and looking for targeting the year before 2013's or 2012's high. So Let's see here. But we talked about the VIX. We talked about how that can affect the markets. We got that knocked out. Let's go ahead and go into our news reports real quick, and I'll pull a few charts up over here for you. Get these out of the way. I don't know why it pulls up the way it does here on these charts, but we'll get them done, and we'll dive on in. Okay, so running on over here and looking at the news, getting you caught up for what has happened and what is happening, so that way you can know what to expect with your news this week. Also going to talk about earnings a little bit as well as we dive into them, okay? So today we have bank holidays in the U.S. and in Canada. That don't forget that the FX markets did just settle out along with the bond markets. They did the settlement procedure where they settled out at 1 o'clock. So a little bit different move on the FX markets there, where they actually settled them early. And then but the electronic hours are normal. Everything's trading. The only difference was the FX and bond markets, because those pits were closed today, and they settled them early, basically because the banks and the Fed was closed today. But it was only affecting the pits, and it did affect the settlement time for futures Forex and for bonds. Obviously, there's no settlement time just for regular spot Forex. They just roll over and do an accounting. Okay. Rolling on into today. What else we got on the news that's important? So it's just be aware. It can be a little bit weird on these holiday things. Let's see. You got the RBA governor. He's going to be talking tonight. And let's see. I don't even see that one. Or maybe he scheduled it, because I don't see him on the schedule anymore unless he's going in tomorrow. Let's see if he, nope, looks like he might have scheduled that meeting. Or canceled that scheduled meeting. So I had a schedule. Oh, there it is. Yeah, RBA Assistant Governor DeVille speaking. All right, so 6:30, we got the RBA governor speaking. That's like their Fed head, like Janet Yellen, whatever. And then we got the Aussie dollar NAB business confidence report, so that can have a little impact on the Aussie tonight at 8:30. Be aware. 4 trades. What do we got? We got 2 trades coming up tonight. We'll talk about those when we get back. We got 1 on the franc and 1 on the pound. Stay right there. All right, folks, we're going back here to the Diagnostic Trading Hour. Let's see. We're on the franc right now. We're talking about news reports coming on up. And we got a franc report coming out at 3:15 a.m. on Tuesday. We're looking to find an Iron Condor. And we're going to enter as early as 11 o'clock with an expiration of 7 a.m. for a minimum profit of $30. So, again, we're looking to find an Iron Condor on the dollar franc, entering as early as 11 o'clock with an expiration of 7 a.m. for a minimum profit of $30. And let's see here. We also got the pound. Pound is going to have various reports coming on out. 4:30 a.m. We got CPI, RPI input, RPI, core CPI, HPI, PPI input. All those combined usually are very small, low-impact reports. We're looking for a small $30 Iron Condor, buying the lower spread, selling the upper spread, and we're entering at 11 o'clock for a 7 a.m. expiration on this trade. And, again, that's entering at 11 p.m. tonight for a 7 a.m. expiration tomorrow with a minimum profit of $30 on the trade. Pretty slow news week overall. We'll go through, we'll catch up, get you ready for everything. Looks like the Euro has various reports coming out tomorrow to be aware of around 5 a.m. The German zoo, industrial production, zoo Euro and zoo economic sentiment. We also are going to have J.P. Morgan, and it looks like Johnson & Johnson. Looks like their earnings reports are coming out tomorrow morning, and those are both in the Dow Jones. And they're coming out 7:10 and 7:45 a.m. Eastern Time, respectively, is the time of the wire release. Again, the wire release. The wire release is when they send out the report, the stats, all that. Here's what the earnings are. And then sometimes at the same time, sometimes hours later, they will have a press conference. Okay? So a lot of times the time I give you will not match the time given to you if you go look up a public number. So you want to look at the wire release time, and that's a little bit harder to find. But right there on the Dow Jones, we got those 2 reports coming out after the bell right here at 4:15, right at the close of the bell. NASDAQ, so affected your U.S. Tech 100 trader is going to be coming out with Intel Corp, and that is coming out and breaking market cap number 7 there, coming at 4:15 p.m., and so right at the close is when we expect the Intel Corp numbers to be coming on down. The techs have been getting hammered quite a bit lately, and so just be aware of this and how that can impact your market. But again, 4:15, that's when the market's closing. But it can get a little crazy in the last few minutes. So, like, not the time you want to be playing with, like, the expiration premium collection trades, things like that. Let's see. We're going to have Westpac Consumer Sentiment coming on out. We got our regular, weekly crop bulletin reports coming out. Aussie dollar new motor vehicle sales coming out at 8:30 tomorrow night. That can affect the Aussie. And the China CPI and PPI coming on out tomorrow night at 9:30. That can affect your Aussie and your yen pairs. So that's your major be aware events for the next 24 hours. That'll get you through to the next show. Let's talk about what other plays we got coming out this coming week on the 15th. Let's look at the 15th right now. We got the U.S. We got variance report coming out. We got core retail sales, PPI retail sales, core PPI, and Empire State Manufacturing Index. And we're going to look for an Iron Condor on that, where we're buying the lower spread on Nadex, selling the upper spread on Nadex for a combined profit of $30. We entered 8 a.m. for a 10 p.m. expiration. Entered 8 a.m. for a 10 p.m. expiration, okay? Or 10 a.m., sorry. Entered 8 a.m. for a 10 a.m. expiration. So entered 8 a.m. for a 10 a.m. expiration for a minimum profit of $30 on an Iron Condor. So you take the max profit of the lower spread plus the max profit on the upper spread that you're selling, and those two combined max profits need to be no less than $30, okay? That is our one new trade that we have until later in the evening. Tomorrow we're going to have the Euro, or I guess it's Wednesday, Euro final CPI 5 a.m. Their final CPI comes out usually not a big mover, but every once in a while can pop a little bit, so it's a little bit larger at $35. We're going to be getting it at 11 p.m. on Wednesday evening for a 7 a.m. Thursday morning expiration for a $35 minimum take profit. That's your Euro final CPI news trade report. Going on into the 16th, we got a few different news trades to check on out. And let's see here. So we go on over. We got, what do we got? We have a CAD manufacturing sales report coming on out. And we're going to enter at 8 a.m. for a 10 a.m. expiration for a $25 minimum profit on this one. So obviously a pretty small move usually on the dollar CAD there on the CAD manufacturing sales. So entering at 8 for 10 a.m. with a $25 minimum profit on the 16th. And then a little bit later, we also got another one happen. Actually, it's the same time, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. We're going to be doing a euro-dollar trade, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. for $30, and that's going to be on the industrial production, the capacity industrial production here in the U.S. from 8 to 10, and that's a $30 minimum profit trade. We'll have unemployment claims coming on. Make sure you are ready and aware of that one. And let me see here. Looks like I might be missing. Let me check something. But weekly overall inventories, I need to make sure for that back on Wednesday. For some reason, I didn't have that up. Stay right there. I'll be back right after this break. All right, folks. Welcome on back here to the Diagnostic Trading Hour. We are looking at the U.S. Philly Fed Manufacturing Index at 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. So we're entering at 9 a.m. for an 11 a.m. expiration. And that is going to be for the 10 o'clock news that's coming out. We're looking for a $25 minimum profit on the trade. All right, so $25 minimum profit for the U.S. Philly Fed Manufacturing Index. Now, we're going to have oil inventories, weekly natural gas. When you get a holiday on Monday, oil rolls forward, so oil is going to be on Thursday this week. That can jack with your expected ranges a little bit, so be really aware of that because it's not happening on Wednesday. It's happening on Thursday. Okay, natural gas also happening on Thursday. That's the regular scheduled time for natural gas. But again, weekly oil inventory is being bumped from Wednesday to Thursday. That can mess with your expected ranges because normally we don't have it then. Okay, so just be very, very aware of that. Also, we'll get some earnings releases coming out Thursday. We're going to have Google. Google's coming on out. Looks like it's scheduled for this week. And be coming out at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Not sure why I have AM on there. I'll fix that up. But not finalized, confirmed with the check. Let's go over and look and see what we got. Let's see here. Right on this. Let's see here. Go in and let's pull up Google. Let's see where it's at on its next scheduled earnings. They got it in here. A lot of times they'll list it up. So I'm just trying to see if they got it. It looks like we don't have it right here. Let's go down to their financials. See if they put it in. Well, we'll just do Google earnings. All right. So Google earnings. I just want to see if they've confirmed the time yet. And they should have confirmed the time. So we got quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3. All right, October 16th, 4:30 Eastern Time. Okay, so they are going to do it on the 16th. It's going to be at 4 o'clock. So I know it says 4:30 Eastern Time is when the conference call is, but the announcement comes out at 4 o'clock. Okay? So, we want to look at, the actual release. For the, time, but for the confirmation of date is what we're going to look at for the actual, so we can confirm the conference call date. That's where we confirm our date, but you have to go back and look at the historical times of when they usually release. Okay? All right, so that gets us caught up over there on Google. And let's see here. We also going to have a couple other things we could be looking on at for this coming week. Going on into Friday. Friday, we'll have some earnings coming out. We're going to have General Electric coming out with GE there on Dow Jones and coming out at 6:30 in the morning on Friday. So impacting the Dow. Let's go ahead and see what other things we got going on. We got two more reports coming out on Friday. We're going to have the CAD Core CPI being released and the CPI month over month that will be getting at 8 for a 10 a.m. expiration at an 8:30 release time with a minimum profit of $30. Okay, so 8 a.m. for a 10 a.m. expiration with a minimum profit of $30. Okay? And we also got the U.S. building permits. That'll be coming on out at 8 a.m. for a 10 a.m. expiration for a minimum profit of $25. So the CAD Core CPI being dollar CAD trade, U.S. building permits being a euro dollar trade. Yellow is going to be coming out and doing a little conversation at 8:30 in the morning. Yay. On Friday. So who knows what that may kick off the end of the week there. We'll also have University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Report coming out on Friday. And we'll wrap up with our weekly and, weather and crop bulletins and crop progress reports. So get those all knocked on out. Okay? That can affect your ag, especially if you're holding into the weekend. All right, that catches us up for our news trade for the week. Let's go ahead and see what else we need to be looking on over. We got all the FX trades. We got, of course, Nadex obviously is open. Even with Columbus Day, it's open right now. I talked about that last week, too. Some people apparently got confused on that, somehow thought it was not open. And I'm like, no, on their website, doesn't have it listed as a holiday. On CME, some people saw that it was listed, and I'm like, well, if you look at the CME holidays page, they do have those notes. And let me just show you that again. This is just one of those lessons you do want to know, okay? Let's type in, CME holiday. When you go to the CME holiday calendar, they're like, well, it's listed on the page. It says Columbus Day because it's going to happen again on November 11th where it says Veterans Day, okay? You can click on this little Excel file and look at that. And if you click on that and open it up, then what you'll see when it does get around to opening is it'll say, nothing special. So Globex is open and are unaffected, will run on a normal schedule, okay? And then right here it says there are some modified settlement procedures where FX and bonds are going to be closed, or going to be settled early at 1 o'clock Eastern, 12 o'clock Central. But that's it, settlement procedures. It talks about, there will be a couple pits closed there on the open outcry for FX and interest rates, but Globex will be, the electronic will be normal hours. All other markets will be normal hours. So, therefore, nothing was closed. There was no reason to have an impact on that as far as that's concerned. Okay, so wanted to make sure everybody understood that. Rollovers, we got some rollovers coming up you need to be aware of. Let me see here. Let me pull these on up, and I'll get on into them. Let's see. Okay. And one more thing I got to do, and then I want to show you this. We put this calendar up here to make it nice and easy for you every week. So hopefully this will help you out. But it's on the Nadex information tab, and we show you where those rollovers are happening. So we got soybeans rolling over right here on the 16th, okay? And then we'll have oil later on the 18th. We'll be rolling over. And natural gas here on the 25th. I want to check on oil because oil was a little bit weird last time. And I want to go into, one of the things you can do is you can go into Ninja Trader. And you can go into their instrument manager. And let's look at soybeans first. And if I go in here and I click on soybeans, and I go to the miscellaneous tab and scroll down to the bottom and then click on the contract months, I can actually see, we're about to roll over to 12/14, so I'm or 1/15 looks like maybe. And I can see the date that it's planned to roll over is 10/20. And it may be a little bit earlier, 10/16 right here on soybeans here, okay? So I may end up wanting to update that month. Let's see, let's click on there. And yeah, 115. So that's 1016. So it's going to be a little bit different day. So we'll have to figure out the best way to deal with that. But it looks like they're not going to roll over until 1020. They're rolling over on 1016. And so you might choose to go in and update your rollover day to like the 17th. That's really when it's going to affect you, is the 17th. So you may update that to the 17th right here. And you can literally just go in and choose 17th and click OK on that. All right, so that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is, let's just go back in. Let's double check. I didn't confirm it yet. And yeah, it's 115. So yeah, 1017. So just change that. If you don't already have it, yours may be at 1017. But if it's not, update the 1017, click OK. And then now let's look at oil. And then on oil, right on over here, we can go in, go to miscellaneous. Let's see how they're going to roll. They're going to roll to, let's see what we got, the next month here. We roll into 1214, so let's scroll on down to 1214. Right there. They got on 1017, 1017, 1018. It's going to be at midnight anyway. So 1017, 1018. You might update that to 1018 just so you don't have it rolling a day early on you if you're looking at that. So we go right over here to the 18th. Just put it a day later. Again, that's only if you're trading on Nadex. Basically, that Friday isn't going to matter. There's going to be a lot of volume on both. But just to make it line up, that's one simple way to do it, okay? So that's how you look it up. We got natural gas coming out on the 25th, so I can go to natural gas. I can pull that up. I can make the dates line up. And again, go to miscellaneous, scroll on down, go to the contract months to find, okay, what month are we hopping over to here? Then highlight over that. Okay, 1214. So that's the month I'm going to want to look at. 1214 right there. So we're on 1024. So 1024, 1025, whatever. But so just always make sure you're looking at the correct contract month when you're doing that. And you should be good. But I just like to line those up. Looks like they got oil a lot better this time. Last time it was like a week early, which caused all sorts of fun issues. But looks like they rolled it over correctly this time around. Okay, so anyways, that wraps up our roll reports. That wraps up our news that's coming up. Also wraps up earnings reports. And let's see what else we got here left on the show. But again, we got the soybeans and oil roll taken care of for you. So quite a bit of just announcements coming up. Let's see here. Last couple steps, things I want to go into with you. Just look at some of the markets, see where they're at right now, and maybe do a little bit of market analysis with you. And let me see if I can find that. I got a couple of reports I've been putting together. And let's see, where has it gone? I got so many different ones now. And there it is. Okay. Perfect. All right, let's look at the EU or the euro dollar, however you want to look at that. What we're looking at today, where are we at right now after moving up a deviation solid on the day. Going over and looking at the euro dollar and mainly focusing on sells for a good chunk of this today is what I was expecting. So more of just buying or selling whenever it popped on up. And some of the areas we're looking at, selling at 26.92, came up here right at the tip and hit 26.92, and I had a target at 26.66 there, so just right above 26.63. So first take profit took place right here at 3 a.m., popped them up, hit 26.92 again, and I had a stop, by the way, up at 27.30, just in case you're wondering where that stop is. Bottom back right at 26.66, came back up, hit 26.92 again, just took profit again at 26.66. So doing really well on that trade. That was a great trade. For my next trade, I was looking at had to break a little bit lower, down to 25.96. And obviously we haven't got down to 25.96. We haven't got down to 25.80. So neither one of those trades have taken place as of this moment. But if it did hit 25.96, I was looking to take profit at 25.80. Or basically tightening stops right around there. And then if it hit 25.80, then I was looking to go down to 25.50 and 25.02. All right. Well, that tightens that one on up for us. And let's see here that knocks out euro dollar. Let's go in. Let's look at the Aussie dollar. Had a buy and a sell on that one both. And to sort of see how those trade plans worked out. We had a buy above 86.65. We had a sell below 86.40. And so looking at the buy above 86.65 and took profit at 87.05. So 86.65 we got right over here. Did not quite get down to the 86.40, so didn't have any sales fire on off. But 86.65 took profit up at 87.05. So right in this range. And that was really the main buy I had on the day. I did have some sells if we went on a higher. I had sales up at 87.05 and 87.45. So the 87.05 was looking to hopefully get a sell right there, but it didn't. It popped on up, went on up to, let's see, what do we got? 87.05, and went on up to 87.25. And so that one got stopped out. Then I had to move up to 86. Let's see, 87.45 was the next target. So right up at that 87.05. Was hoping to get that come on back down to 86.65. Sort of oscillated there for me for a while. Came on down to 87. Let's see, 05. Didn't quite hit my target on 86.65. And so moved back up on up, hit my break even back at my entry price there, 87.05. So came like right up, 87.45, and then back down to 87. Maybe it hit the 87.25. Yeah, I did. It hit the 87.25 profit. Okay. So 87.25 profit. And moving on back up, and then it just kept going up, and don't really have a sell much higher than that on the Aussie. But gave us a few trades and basically like netted out one positive trade out of the three there. So not too horrible. And basically two winners, one losers, and break, and also a break even on one. Okay, so that gives us that. Let's go ahead and look on over. Let's check out the E-mini S&P. And see how we're looking over here on that. It's trying to change. There we go. All right, so let's check out the S&P. Over on the S&P, just obviously lots of biases to the south side of things, but it's moving on up. And looking at some trades here, seeing what we got. We got trade potential possibilities kicking in at basically a break below 1865. We didn't get that one, so that trade didn't even fire off. Had 1875, didn't get that low, so that trade did not fire off. Also to sell up at 1890 and a sell at 1806. So first time we hit up at 1890 was right around here. Would have had to stop on that one around 1904. That would have got popped. And just barely before it moved on down. Stay right there. I'll be back right after this break. All right, folks, welcome back here to the Diagnostic Trading Hour. Okay. So we're just going through and looking at some of the different plans. So S&P popped on up there, went right against it, but then got it all back and then some by having literally sold 1806 right at the high, where it went on short and took on profit down at 1890. So nice 16-point trade on that. So very, very nice S&P trade. We're going to wrap it up on the Russell for the Diagnostic Day Trading Plan, seeing how we did on the Russell. And definitely with a little bit of a short bias going on in here. And let's see what we got. So we got the Russell moving on up. We had plans for above 1048, plans for below 1038. Didn't really break below that 1038 there. We got really close, 1038.5. Did not break below 1038. Moved on up, was looking for a 1040 right below settlement. And then had a sell up at 1071. Have not got my sell filled at 1071. If it does pop in at 1071, I have a 1071 for a target of 1067.8. Let's see here. Then going over 1034, not going to happen. 1008, not going to happen. The only possible trade I set up, like I said, I got is that 1048, just below settlement. Looking for trades right there and taking profit at 10. Let's see, going short of 1048, taking profit at 1040. So right here, just basically taking that bounce right there. And so that trade worked out rather well right here in the morning. But it did move up pretty heavy, up to 1055. I had to stop all the way up at 1060. So it moved up against me pretty good, but it did not hit my stop at 1060. Came on down, took profit right there, and just within ticks before turning on back around. All right. So anyway, so we got that plan, and that was about all there was on the S&P. Not a whole lot to go into. Let's see here, and let's hop on in to look at maybe a few more markets before we wrap up. Let's check out gold right now. And it hasn't been the biggest move day in gold, but let's check out where gold's been. On gold, we got market being above 1233 or below 1233. And I was looking at a buy at 1238. And see if we got up there, 1238, like right at the top there. We got to sell at 1248, did not hit 1248. And we got our take profits were at, let's see, 12, let me see where we start out at this evening. Start over here, 1224. Okay, so we got 1215, that did not get filled. We did get a 1225 that got filled. So 1225 got filled, first take profit up at 1236. So the 1236 getting filled, took profit right there, first thing, pulled on back down. Let's see, we get back down to 1225 within a few ticks. So may or may not have got filled on that, depending upon what kind of order you had working in there, and popped on back up. Has not yet popped on up and hit the 1236 take profit level again. That's going to be a pretty big climb for it to get all the way back up there and wrap that one up. And that will be gold. Going on down, checking out crude oil. And let's pull up oil. So over here on crude oil, and let's see. So we got a market above 83.70, market below 83.70. Looking at a sell run 83.50, a buy run 83.80 on crude oil. And so we did not get quite down to the 83.50 range. We did obviously get the 83.80 when it popped on down. It took a little while. But we finally didn't get 83.80 either, so didn't get that one down. Next one was 86.25. Really outside my range completely on oil today. Didn't even have a trade that got started off. Didn't get my 83.50 sell. Didn't get my 83.80 buy. So, or my 86.25 buy. So just stayed inside that, trapped range. And that's all I got for the day. So I hope you have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow right here on the Diagnostic Trading Hour.